Hello everyone, I'm Esh. Welcome to Esh's Lab with the Feed the Beast Monster mod pack. I'm actually being rained upon on purpose. I'm standing in this because I want you guys to see my sweet nips through my wet vest. No, actually, that's true, but also I'm here not only for you guys to be able to see my sweet perky nips, but also because I've been watering the garden because I've added a few things to the garden. As you can see, it's still unsophisticated. I haven't set up a automatic farming or anything. I have got the sprinkler that was broken hooked back up under the ground. I'm actually using the exact same water source. Instead of having a different ones, I have this one hooked up to both. And because the fluid item ducts, or the fluid ducts I guess they are, no, the transfer nodes, sorry. Transfer nodes are OP when it comes to liquids. It could probably do an infinite amount of these things without running out of water, just because of how they work. Anyway, so what I was doing is I was spending some time with the garden because I was sort of just passively, for fun, in my spare time. That's where my life is right now. In my spare time, I was just looking into magical crops, and as you can see, I've got some coal crops now. And this is your basic starter crop for magical crops. And if you're not familiar with magical crops, then you're dumb as hell. No, I'm just kidding, guys. You're not dumb as hell. Well, you may be dumb as hell, but if you are, in fact, dumb as hell, it doesn't have anything to do with magical crops. Magical crops let you grow things that are not in food. I mean, they let you grow some food, I guess. There's some magic food, but for the most part, you can grow things like ores, things like, for instance, coal, which is the first crop you can basically grow. And what you'll need to start is, you don't need essence crops. In fact, I would recommend just ignoring essence crops but if you do find some by destroying grass, like you do to get most seeds, go ahead and plant them because you get this essence from it. But you get an infinite amount more from mining. You get them from the essence or stuff that you can find mining, and you'll get a bunch of it from mining. Whereas these, you get like a few from each plant, and they rarely give you extra seeds when you destroy them. I've had the same two plants for going on a month or two now. So I recommend mining that stuff. Oddly enough, they want the best way to do it the best way to farm is to mine in this case. So I've created a bunch of weak essence, and I then turned some of the weak essence into coal seeds. And the way I did that, I'll go ahead and show you. Speaking of showing you guys, I've realized that some of the recent episodes really felt like a tutorial when it's not meant to be a series of tutorials. So I'm going to try to change it up a little bit. I want to do multiple things every episode. So today we're going to start with this, just because I was doing this when I started recording, really. But then we're going to move on to something else, because I have another project I've been working on that I want to finish up with you guys. So I have a weak infused stone. I have some weak essence, and I need to go get some coal if I wanted to do this fully, but I don't care, really. In fact, I can get some coal from our plants, so we'll do that in a sec. So what you want to do is you want to first... I didn't mean to do that. You can also turn this weak essence into the essence dust that you would need for this. So if you hit R on this weak infused stone, I need a bunch of essence around a diamond or an emerald. Diamonds are less rare than emeralds somehow, so just go for a diamond. And it doesn't run out. It doesn't have a durability or anything. You can use it as much as you want in the same thing. So if I hit U over this weak infused essence, or weak infused stone, you can see I can make different things, and starting with weak essences by putting essence dust around this weak infused stone. So that's what I did. Made a bunch of these, sacrificed a bunch of essence dust to make a bunch of weak essence. Now if I hit U over this, it'll show what I can do with this. I can make it into the next upgraded tier of the regular essence, but I need a regular infusion stone, which we'll have to upgrade later. Or I can go through and make some very basic seeds. So by doing this, by putting regular seeds in the middle, some weak essence around it, and some coal in the corners, I can make coal seeds. And then you can go through this thing, and you can make some dye seeds if you want dye, water seeds for water, lava, dirt, and glass bottles, I guess, air seeds. So you can literally get pretty much anything from these things. Any vanilla Minecraft stuff you can get, and even some non-vanilla Minecraft stuff you can get. So eventually you could be making, I think probably the end game would be diamonds and things like ender pearls and blaze rods and stuff, which is what we really want. Is blaze rods would be good. Diamonds would obviously be good at all times. That said, I think we're starting off with coal pretty well. We can make a bunch more, but I don't want to until I guess I could just get rid of all this stuff and just put a whole thing of coal if I really wanted to. As you can see, I've also got a watering can, which is very easy to make. It's just some stone and some stone and bone meal in a bowl, and I filled it with water, and now boom, I can water this place, and it basically acts like a cheap bone meal equivalent. I can just hold it down, water this shit, speeds it up a little bit. It's a little bit slower, obviously, than bone meal, but a lot more cheap, a lot cheaper rather. Okay, so I can break these. Show you guys what I get back. So I've got some coal essence. If I hit U over this, I can put them in an 8 pattern, and I'll get 4 coal from it. Or I can surround them. Surround a weak infusion stone with them to make an upgraded regular infusion stone. You can also do stuff like this. Use it as a black dye, basically, on some of the building materials, which is cool. Which is really cool, actually. I want to see what that's called. What's that? Wood planks with coal tinted. So that's pretty sweet. All right. That said, I need one more coal for this to work. And I think once I get a regular infusion stone from this, that's where we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing. Oh, yeah. Man, it's been a really good start to this episode so far. We've talked about my nipples, which is always on my quota for each episode. I failed a lot lately, unfortunately. But today I hit it right off the bat. Talked about my nipples straight away. Also, grew some coal. Boom. We're also about to make a regular infusion stone with the help of my also dandy, bucket, which is also named Randy. So there you go. Alright, so after we do this, I have a very special thing I've been working on. It took a little bit of time and a little bit of resources because I needed to use a lot of coal, needed to use a lot of iron, and some other ore, but I don't want to tell you what the ore is because it'll give it away. I also want to go and check on the mariculture place, the marine biology lab. God, I cannot remember that thing ever. The marine biology lab with our mariculture stuff to see how many fish our automatic fisher has caught, because it should have gone through all of our bait in the automatic fisher. So it should have went through the ants, which probably got no fish. It should have also went through the worms that I put in there. We can also check the nets. Anyway, so we've got 12 coal essence now. We can put it in a square around our fusion stone, and voila, we got our upgrade. Oh wow, it keeps this one too. That's dope. Even though I don't think it's really worth anything, but it's dope anyway. I like it when mods don't unnecessarily punish you just for the sake of it. Okay, so with this thing, we can now have different types of things we can make. I say that. We need it really, only thing we can really make with it is the regular essence, which is what we wanted. We can now put this thing in the middle of some essence, make a regular essence, whereas before we have a weak essence. And with this, we can make different seeds. So now we can make with this more powerful seeds, basically redstone, obsidian, glowstone, copper, tin. We can also obviously upgrade if we have 4 of these to a strong essence, which would then be able to make iron, Gold Blaze. That's the one. This actually shouldn't take very long, actually. Jeez. I think we might be able to do this. Holy shit, son. I'm gonna go ahead and make a few more of these. Like this. Alright, then we got 4 of these, okay? And what was I doing with this? I was gonna make a... I can't remember. What does this do? Nothing, okay. I was going to use this... I need to figure out which seeds allow me to make a strong infusion stone. Redstone, glowstone, or obsidian. Okay. I think in glowstone or redstone would be a good option. Probably glowstone because we don't have to go to then we won't have to go to the nether to get it. So how do I get this? It's a good question. It's a good question. How do I get this? A regular infusion stone. Okay. I think I would just... I know the coal... This is interesting. With the coal seeds, you just put coal in the corners. I can't imagine that's what you do with this. It didn't show me anything like that. I'm amateur at this mod, so I haven't really paid too much attention to this sort of thing. I am curious to see if it'll let me just put some redstone in a corner. It's not giving me a recipe or anything. So if I did this, and then I put redstone in the corner, would it give me redstone seeds? I think I have to work through the progression, like the natural progression of like coal to something to something to something. It's giving me natural essence, which I can use to do different things, make random stuff. I could make some mycelium with it. I can make this magic fertilizer, which is super expensive. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. I'm going to put all of this stuff in here. I'm going to keep growing the coal. In fact, I will probably replace this entire garden with coal. And also the other stuff. And we'll just move through the progression. Oops, I got seeds. We'll move through the progression and get to the next area. Using our excellent infused stones and so forth. Alright, so, as you can see out here, there's some X's on the ground, actually, that I am not a fan of. What are you doing here, X's? Alright, that'll do. Alright, I'm going to hit F7, turn that off. Alright, so, if I go over here to these, you can see that I have chests still here. I've removed a few more, including 2 of these that were over here, all but this one is now taken. And that's mostly because that one's full of junk I don't really need, so I'm deciding what I want to do with it. Then I have a few other things. And it's mostly because, not because I'm lazy, but because I really don't know where I'm going to put it at this point. I haven't planned for all this. I have a bunch of stuff. Most of this stuff probably go in computer. I've been moving all the Thaumcraft stuff over into the Thaumcraft place. But I got a bunch of vanilla stuff. Some of it will go on the computer too. And then I got a bunch of this stuff. Some of this will go on the computer. Just got to decide where exactly I want to locate a lot of this stuff. I've moved as much as I could to the designated places. The Thaumcraft and arcane stuff over to the magic place. Moved some stuff into the farm. Moved some over into the marine biologist. Jesus, place. Oh, speaking of, before we go in there, you might have seen that a sneak peek of what we're doing today. Speaking of this, let's go ahead and check our fish. First things first, we'll check our net. Oh, look, it's got a raw fish and a minnow. I'm going to take this minnow inside. Perfect. Alright, and now it's for the moment of truth. Let's see. Boom. Oh, wow, look at this. Bunch of minnows. All of them have genders, which is unfortunate because that means we can't make them into fish oil. A lot of pearls. What do we use pearls for? Neoprene. Purple pearl block. Fish sorter. So it's just a bunch of different material. A material for a bunch of different recipes, which is good. Got a bowl and a bow, and a normal fish, and a raw Siamese fighting fish. Jesus, that thing sounds terrifying. Jeez, Siamese fighting fish. Good God, I'm actually intimidated by that thing. I feel like less of a man just after reading that thing's name. All right, so let's check this thing. All right, so it has used all of our worms and stuff, and it's only gone down in durability a little bit. So that pole in particular is really good for durability. Now we just need to put some more bait in there. So what kind of bait do I have stored up? Judging by this thing, the answer is no bait. Not a single bait. So what I really need to do is go ahead and sift through some meat, maybe. Maybe we should get some maggots, guys. Or maybe not. I don't even know. Maybe some maggots. Do we have any meat? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get... Oh, look at this. 20 beefs. There's 20 beefs in there. And a raw chicken. Why not? So let's see how many maggots we can get from 20 beefs and a raw chicken. Let's see. Sky is the limit with this. Sky is the limit. No, actually, the bottom of the ocean is probably the limit. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Boom. 20 gives us 36. Not bad. More than I expected, actually. And a chicken gives us literally nothing. Actual 0 things. So that was worthless. What about this fish? Can we... No. Okay. I was hoping we could sacrifice this goddamn minnow. So apparently minnow is like the place where you would start breeding, because we've got a shit ton of minnow. Look how many minnows we have, all of which have a gender. Jeez. Luis. You bitch. Okay, and on that note, I'm going to, for funsies, raw salmon, Siamese. Actually, I'm going to keep this Siamese fighting fish. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the chest. Mostly because I'm afraid he's going to beat me up and make me look like a bitch in front of my friends. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get the raw fish from outside. Bring that raw fish. At this point, I am confident that we could have just spent 5 minutes fishing ourselves and gotten like twice as many fish as this thing. But not as many pearls. Look at the pearls. There's a bunch of pearls. So what I'm going to do now is just totes mess up this fish. Totes mess up this fish. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it because I don't feel like going and getting fuel for it to melt. So now we're going to move on to the bed where I'm going to slumber. I'm going to slumber. It's going to be sleep time because this rain is incessant. Oh, come on. Come on. It's always nice to come into the magical place. I feel like the magical place is more like home than any other place that we've built so far. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is head over to the disgusting gray building and show you guys what I've been working on. Look at this. I've got a big-ass reactor, and it's not done. I mean, it's done. The multi-block is complete, but we need to add a few things, and that's what I wanted to do here with you guys. Actually, I wanted to show you the entire process, but when I was done building it on camera, and I right-clicked on the reactor control rod, it crashed, and not only did it crash, corrupted all the footage that I had, so it wouldn't work. That's the kind of life I lead. As a YouTuber, that's the kind of life you exist in. You're at the whim of Minecraft and whether it crashes or not. So, with any luck, in fact, I may stop recording for a second just so I can have this footage for sure before I click on this. Because I did click on it after that while I wasn't recording and it worked fine. So, one sec. Alright, we're back. Now I'm going to click on this. Oh, it works. Wow. Alright, so we're looking at the reactor control rod, right? This is going to tell us... Now I'm going to go through this and show you guys briefly because it isn't a tutorial series, but I like to just explain things. Mostly for my own benefit, just so I remind myself. So the control rod lets me look and see how much... name it, do other things, control rod, percentage... And what this basically lets me do is control how much power this thing produces. Obviously, the default is going to be 100%, but sometimes you're not using very much power, And the more power you, or the more heat you're producing here, the more fuel you're going to burn. So if you're not using all the power, but you're still burning 100% fuel, then that's a waste of fuel. So maybe you'll turn it down to 50% because you're only using 50% of the power with all your machines. So what we'll probably do though is we'll probably just turn it off for long extended periods of time because we're not going to need all the energy. In fact, we don't even need this thing in general. But I feel like building it, and we built it. Doom. So we now have a massive reactor. So the final thing we need to do is to break this thing open. So we'll probably break a block on the top, or maybe even all these blocks. In fact, I'll probably just do that now. We need to break all these glass blocks. Give me this sweet, sweet glass. So this is glass. Just takes forever to break. So we need to. I'm just gonna remove all these glass blocks. Maybe not all. Yeah, all of them. Why not? Let's do all these glass blocks because I need to have free range to pour liquid in here. Now, first thought, I think you can use like any liquid you want to cool this thing. You can use water. It's really bad, but you can use it. It's okay starting place, you know, if you don't have any like other fluids you could use. You could use liquid meat apparently. Apparently you could cool this thing with liquefied meat. It's terrible, but you could do it. So I'm thinking maybe I could pee in here and just cool it with my urine. That would probably be worse though. It probably wouldn't be even as good as meat. But what we're going to be using is actually resonant ender, which is the liquid form of ender pearls. Because we have so many and because it's so good. It's probably like the second best fluid that you can use. And you can use any fluid you want. You can use water, you can use liquid redstone, which is actually pretty good. You can use this the yellorium, which is actually the fuel source for this. You can use it as the coolant as well, which doesn't make sense to me, but it also isn't very good, so it makes sense. It's a little bit better than water. If you have no ender pearls, redstone is probably where you want to start. Then work your way up to ender pearl liquid, and then the best is called gelid something. It's called gelid cryothium, which you need like blizz rods to do, and I can't even remember how you get those. It's pretty intense, I will say that. So if I click on like this bucket right here, and I need cryothium dust in a magma crucible, and to get cryothium dust I need blizz powder, and to get that I need a blizz rod, but it doesn't tell me how I can get the blizz rod, so I'm guessing that's like a drop from some sort of mob. You can also get it from these blizzy bees, which is like a really terrible rapper name. Blizzy Bee. Oh my god. I could just imagine, and I am terrified by it. Okay, so I have broken the top. Now what I want to do now is go ahead and head back inside the lab and start liquefying some ender. So that actually will require me get some buckets. I want a bunch of buckets here. So let's see if we can find any buckets here before we go inside. I don't think there is any buckets in these chests, to be honest. Check though. I did move the ender chest inside with all the ender pearls, so all we need to do is make some buckets. I don't know. I know for a fact I've made about 30 buckets in this entire series. I have no idea where they are, however. Okay, downstairs. Downstairs we go to the bottom floor. As you can see, all the ender pearls inside. And I also have even more ender pearls in here. I need some iron to make some more buckets. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with 8. That's a lot of buckets though. That is a lot of buckets. I think I'm going to go with just a few, just to make it a little bit easier, but not enough buckets to do this all at once, because it would be like 24 buckets. Because the objective for me is going, I don't know if this is necessary, but I want to have a source block on every empty block inside that thing. I think I'm going to make 5. Why not? Let's go with 5 buckets. Alright, next process is going to be to actually liquefy these ender pearls with the magma crucible over here. Where is it? Magma crucible. Oh, it already has some in here. Perfect. Alright, so what we need to do is, this is 2,000 millibuckets. That's probably two, I think it's 2 buckets, right? Millibucket equals 1,000 for 1 bucket. And I need to... Okay, it is actually going over, but I'm not sure why it's not filling up the entire thing. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm going to put buckets in here. Why not? Boom. Orange to blue. Yeah, that should work. That should work. But it's... I think this thing is not working. I think I need a lever. Actually, I have a special lever hidden. Because I realized that I didn't need it, but I didn't want to make another lamp to replace this one that's dark. So I just put it behind it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Alright, so that's the problem. Okay. Alright, so we got the buckets, guys. We're getting buckets full. No probs. Look at that. Look how fast that is. Alright, so I'm also going to cook these up, and while that goes, we're going to go fill up what we can. Now, I think you probably could just let it run down over the top. So you could just put 1 block above it, the very top of this thing, and let it run down it. But I'm going to put source blocks all throughout this thing, just to be safe. So... there's that. I don't think you want to touch this stuff because I believe it can actually teleport you random places.